Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Vaudeville mixed with situation comedy. That's the only way I know of to describe Fibber and McGee and Molly. This episode of the program goes back to April 29th, 1947. And believe it or not, the wisecracker in this episode isn't Fibber. The wisecracker is Molly's good friend Thelma Graham, played by Bea Benaderet. And you'll find out why she's so good at it. This episode was originally broadcast April 29th, 1947.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax products for home and industry present Fibber McGee and Molly with Bill Thompson, Gail Gordon, Arthur Q. Bryan, Gene Carroll, Bea Benaderet, and me, Harlow Wilcox. The script is by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie. Music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. Do you know what sales resistance is? Well, that's what a husband has when his wife tries to sell him on the beauty and charm of her old school friend who is coming for a visit. In this case, the husband and wife are Fibber McGee and Molly.
Just imagine, McGee, I haven't seen Thelma since we were in school together back in Peoria.
What was her name again?
Thelma?
Oh.
Thelma Graham. Oh, she was a scream.
Funny, I can't seem to remember her.
Well, she never hung around the smoke shop much.
Oh.
She didn't play pool either.
Folks were strict, huh?
Besides, that was before you came into my life, dearie.
Oh, the dull years.
Well, they would have been dull except for Thelma Graham.
Yeah?
I'll never forget the time Thelma's folks got a new clock. And they told her it would run 8 days without winding it.
She said, how long will it run if you wind it?
Yes. That's what she said. Oh, she was just bubbling over all the time. She'd say things like, how do you get down off an elephant? And you say, I don't know.
And then she'd say, you don't get down off an elephant, you get down off a duck.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Everybody told her she ought to be in vaudeville.
Yeah. Too many people like her did go into vaudeville. That's what happened to it. Well, I'd like to stick around and meet this happy character, kiddo, but I got to get down to the Elks Club. We got to paint the pool balls this spring, and I'm one of the few who knows what the color of the 8-ball is.
Now, McGee, please, you stay here with me. You must meet Thelma.
I know, but I promised the fellows that I'd help them.
Besides, Thelma's never met my husband, you know.
Oh?
I want to show you off a little, sweetheart. Show her how well I married.
Well, if you think it'll build you up socially.
Anyway, I've asked a few friends to drop in for tea at 4 o'clock. Dr. Gamble and Mr. Wilcox, Mayor Latrivia, and Mr. Wimple. Thelma will only be here between trains, so...
My gosh, is that your friend already? I got to shave and put on a clean shirt and get down.
No. Relax, dearie. She isn't due for an hour yet.
Oh.
Come in. You see, McGee, it's Mr. Wimple.
Oh, hi, a wimp.
Hello, folks.
You're a little early for tea, Mr. Wimple. The invitation was for 4 o'clock, remember?
Yes. I just came over to tell you I'd be here, Mrs. McGee. Is it somebody's birthday or something?
No, it's for a wisecracker named Graham, Wimp. An old school chum of Molly's. She tells jokes.
You do, Mrs. McGee?
No, Thelma does, Mr. Wimple. Thelma Graham. That's her name. Oh, you'll just love her. She's a scream.
Well, I don't know, Mrs. McGee. I'm sure she must be very nice if she's a friend of yours, but women like that frighten men. They do me, anyway. That's not so peculiar. All women frighten me. Like this morning, for instance.
What happened this morning, Wimp?
Well, I was standing in the kitchen while the milkman was kissing my wife.
Heavenly days. The milkman was kissing your wife.
Did you slug him, Wimp?
Well, how could I? I was holding his milk bottle.
Yes, but, Mr. Wimple...
Besides, he's my father-in-law.
Oh.
What bothered me, he interrupted me while I was trying to read my bird book.
Your what, Mr. Wimple?
My bird book. Did you know that the laughing grackle of western Kansas builds its nest out of old funny papers?
Well, that's a switch. I've known of jokes getting the bird, but never vice versa.
Well, anyway, they don't have any housing shortage. Did you ever hear my poem about that?
No, and I don't think we'd have time.
Oh, I'd love to hear it, Mr. Wimple.
All righty. It goes...
Recite it again. I didn't get the gist of it.
I was just clearing my throat, Mr. McGee.
Oh.
It goes... What is home without a mother is a phrase you hear from Nome to Rome. But the housing shortage gives us another. What is mother without a home? Well, I'll be back at 4 o'clock, folks.
Well, I'd better go out in the kitchen and see how Lena's coming along with the tea things, McGee.
Okay.
And you better run up and shave so I can show Thelma what a handsome husband I am.
Okay, Tootsie, right away. Oh, there goes a good kid. She thinks I swallow that stuff about me being so handsome. And she's so right. I lap it up like a hungry hound. Uh-oh. I hope that isn't Giggling Graham, the girl gag man. Come in.
Hi, miss.
Oh, it's you, Teeny.
Sure it is, I bet you.
Yeah.
What you doing, mister? And what you doing? What you?
I'm about to go upstairs and unwhisker myself, sis. We got a tea party cooked up for 4 p.m. to meet an old schoolmate of Mrs. McGee.
Oh, gee, that'll be dandy, I bet you. I met an old schoolmate of mine this morning.
You did, eh? I says you did, eh?
Did what?
Met an old schoolmate of yours.
You did?
You did.
I know it. It was Willie Toops. He's one of the oldest schoolmates I got. He's 8 1/2 going on 10.
He's aging fast, isn't he? You like Willie, sis?
Oh, boy, I'll say. Is he ever good looking, though?
Yeah.
Hubba, hubba, hubba. He's kind of dumb, though, I bet you.
What you mean, kind of dumb, though, I bet you?
Well, he says the reason it rains is because the birds are crying and the rain is birds' tears.
Well, why do the birds cry?
Because it's raining, he says.
Oh. Well, that's a very poetic conception, sis, but we know better, don't we?
Sure. Why does it rain, mister?
Huh? That's very simple, sis. In the first place, the heat of the sun causes evaporation of the water in the streams and the lakes and the oceans. It rises into the air and forms clouds. The clouds go wherever rain is needed, and when they get there, the thunder says, "All right, kids, break it up." Then the lightning flashed it to show it where to fall, and down it goes, to wet the fields and the crops and the trees, and so they can grow. Catch on to it?
Gee, does it rain wherever it needs rain?
Sure.
How about the desert? My teacher, Miss Yegley, says it hardly ever, almost never rains in the desert.
Well, you see, sis, the desert don't need rain. No. Nothing grows there but cactus and tourists, and neither of them use much water.
How about the ocean, mister? Don't it ever rain on the ocean?
Why, certainly.
Well, the ocean don't need any water, I bet you.
Well, the ocean is... Well, I got to run upstairs and shave, sis. It's been very nice talking to you, but
Hey, now, mister, wait a minute.
Huh?
Why does it have to rain on the ocean? You said the rain went wherever they needed it, and the ocean don't need any rain, I bet you.
Look, sis. You ever eat radishes?
Sure. I love radishes, I bet you.
How do you eat radishes?
I just put a little salt on them and eat them.
Well, Natch, and if you eat too much salt, what happens?
I get thirsty.
Of course you do. And if you get thirsty with a few little dabs of salt, how do you think the ocean gets with millions of tons of salt in it? Wow. Well, I'll see you later, sis.
So long, mister.
And the corn just keeps on coming. April 29th, 1947, Fibber McGee and Molly on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Hi, this is Kyle Horvath with the White Pine County Tourism and Recreation Board. If you want to get away from the big cities and get back to nature this summer, give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net. There's so much to do and see I can't mention it in 30 seconds, but check out our website and you'll see what Nevada is really all about. elinevada.net or follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
And the corn just keeps on coming on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. More of Fibber McGee and Molly, April 29th, 1947.
Well, Thelma ought to be here any minute, dearie. How do I look?
Don't ask me, Snooky. I'm prejudiced. You always look wonderful to me.
You look nice, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's the closest shave you've had since you got the wrong draft card in 1942. You just love Thelma McGee.
Yeah.
Us girls used to fall down and roll on the floor at her jokes.
Well, if you see me rolling toward the back door, Tootsie, hold it open for me because I'll be on my way to the...
Oh, I bet that's Thelma now. This is going to be such fun. Come in. Thelma!
Molly, as the man said when the newsstand burned down, long see no time.
Oh, fine.
Ah, heavenly days. It's nice to see you again, Thelma. And you haven't changed a bit.
Well, I've got a few gray hairs, Molly, but as the man says, just because there's a little snow on the roof doesn't mean the fire's out in the
house. You see what I mean, McGee? Thelma's... Oh, pardon me, Thelma. I want you to meet my husband. Dearie, this is Thelma.
Hi, Thelma. Welcome to Belly Laugh Manor. Glad you could come. Always like to have our wits about us at a tea party. You get it, girls? Have our wits about us? Thelma being such a wit, I thought
Ain't it funny, McGee.
Ain't? My gosh, I've been working on that ever since you told me she was...
Certainly I'm glad to know Molly's husband, Mr. McGee. You know what a husband is, don't you? That's a lover with the nerve removed.
Oh, brother, this is worse than I thought.
My goodness, what am I thinking? What am I thinking of, standing here gabbing away? Let me take your coat, Thelma.
No, I'll put it in the other room myself, Molly. As the breeze said to the candle, I don't want to put you out.
Good old Thelma. What'd I tell you, McGee? Isn't she a scream?
Yeah.
Oh, you love her when you get to know her better.
I wouldn't know her any better if she sat on my lap till Henry Wallace gets to be president of the Union League Club. Why, she's the most obnoxious...
My, this is a lovely home you have, Molly.
Oh, thanks, Thelma.
Personally, I like to live in hotels. I go there for a change and a rest. The bellboys get the change, and the manager gets the rest.
I'm getting nervous. I'll bet we get a nasty letter from It Pays to Be Ignorant. Look, Thelma, suppose we...
Oh, good. Our guests are beginning to arrive. I'm so anxious to have you meet our friends, Thelma. Come in.
Hi.
Hey, it's Harlow Wilcox. Come on in, Junior. I hope you like seafood. We've been baking clams by the thousands.
Come in, Mr. Wilcox.
How are you, Molly? Hiya, pal.
Miss Graham, may I present Mr. Wilcox? Mr. Wilcox, my old schoolmate, Thelma Graham.
How do you do, Miss Graham?
As the gangster's wife said to him when the cops met the train, police to meet you, Harlow.
Did you ever hear anybody like her, Mr. Wilcox? She kept us girls screaming all through school.
I believe it. I've only known her a minute, and I'm almost screaming myself. Going to be in town long, Miss Whole Wheat?
Graham, Jr.
Oh, pardon me.
Now, I'm just passing through, Mr. Hotchkiss.
Wilcox, then.
Oh, pardon me. No, I'm on my way to California, out where the men have hair on their chests, at least till the picture's finished. You look like an actor yourself, Mr. Wilcox.
Well, I did a little work in Chautauqua, Miss Graham. Second leads mostly. Sang baritone, too.
Still puts on a pretty good floor show, Thelma.
I'll bet he does. Ever hear about the guy getting the life insurance? Doc asked him if he had any scars, and he said, no, but I got a cigarette.
Thelma, please, I'm making all over.
Me too, and more in some places than in others.
Say, you still an actor, Mr. Wilcox?
No, I sell Johnson's wax products now, Miss Graham. Ever hear about Johnson's Glow Coat?
Sure I have. My sister always uses Johnson's Glow Coat. The salesman told her it'd make her linoleum shine till she could see her face in it, and she used it. Well, she forgot it was Battleship linoleum, and when she saw her face in it, she looked like Admiral Nimitz.
Grab it, Junior. That's the first hole there's been in this conversation for half an hour.
Hey? Oh, Glow Coat's really a wonderful product, Miss Graham. Shines as it dries to a beautiful glossy finish.
Oh, that reminds me of a gag
Yes, sir. No rubbing, no buffing with Glow Coat. You simply pour a little out, spread it around with a long-handled applier, let it dry for 20 minutes or less, and presto.
There's also the one about the
It
two
puts
girls
a gleaming, protective shine on your linoleum that's a joy to any housewife's eye.
Yeah, but Mr. Wilcox,
A hard wax finish that laughs at the Iceman's feet and makes the scrub bucket as obsolete as button shoes.
Oh, now look, Harlow.
Yes, Miss Graham.
What's so obsolete about button shoes? My father's worn button shoes for 50 years.
Likes them, does he, Thelma?
No, he can't get them off.
Isn't this jolly, Waxy? Aren't you glad you came?
Well, Dr. Gamble and Mayor Latrivia and Mr. Wimple should be here any minute now. I'll see if Lena has tea ready. Lena! Oh, Lena!
Everything is ready, honey. I didn't know if you wanted green tea or black tea, so I just used the orange peekaboo. I hope that's all right.
Oh, that's fine, Lena. Just put everything on the coffee table and I'll serve.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
How are you, Lena?
Well, I got a little sinus trouble, Mr. Wilcox. That don't bother me much except when I hang by my knees.
When you hang by your knees?
Yes, you know, some of the labels on the preserves are pasted on upside down, so I hang by my knees from the hot air pipes to read them. I have to work fast, too, because the brains rush to my head.
My goodness, Lena, you might have a bad fall doing that.
Oh, it ain't the fall I mind so much as it is the winter, honey. That's when them pipes really get hot. Well, if anybody wants any more tea or more of them little woman fingers, you just holler at me.
Lady fingers, Lena.
I know, but Mr. McGee said they didn't want this party to be too fancy, Mr. Wilcox. He said it was just for a bunch of mugs that
Lena.
That's what you said, Mr. McGee. You said they'd probably much rather have beer and pretzels.
Oh, please, Lena.
Oh, well, that's all right, honey. I think you're perfectly right to serve tea. It looks a lot better in the society columns if it says, Mrs. McGee served tea to a group of prominent citizens, than if it said you rushed the growler for a bunch of... Oh, my. Is this the girl you went to school with, honey? Hello, Thelma. I'm Lena.
Hello, Lena. I'll bet you can't guess which hand I stir my tea with.
Oh, now you go on. You use a spoon to stir it. You don't catch me on any old chestnut like that, Thelma.
More tea, Dr. Gamble?
No, thank you.
Little lemon, Mr. Mayor.
I'm equipped.
Cream, Mr. Wimple?
This is fine.
I'm okay.
Well, so you're the mayor of this town, are you, old boy?
Yes, Miss Graham, I am. I trust you're enjoying your visit to Wistful Vista?
Well, I haven't seen much of it, but any city of over 500 people scares me. You know what they say? You can take the girl out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the girl.
Oh, Thelma, how you do go on. Isn't she a scream, Mayor Latrivia?
Yes. Isn't she? Are you traveling by train or plane, Miss Graham? And how soon?
I'm going west by train and back by plane, Your Honor, which reminds me of the time I went to Europe on a boat. Traveled by rail all the way.
May I have another cookie, Mrs. McGee?
Certainly, Mr. Wimple. Here you are. Oh, say, Thelma, tell the boys what you said to the porter on the train. Listen to this voice.
Yeah, tell us, Thelma.
I can hardly wait to hear it. I'll bet it's a Lulu.
Well, I left my shoes to be shined, and the porter brought back one brown one and one black one. When I told him about it, he said, well, imagine that. That's the second time that's happened today.
Did that really happen to you, Miss Graham?
Oh, now, Doctor, don't get personal. As long as you and I can keep people in stitches, who cares?
Thelma.
May I have another cookie, Mrs. McGee?
Hey, better take it easy with those cookies, Wally. They're pretty rich.
Say, you people know the best exercise to keep from getting fat? Push yourself away from the table 3 times a day. Don't you agree with that, Doctor?
I beg your pardon, Miss Graham. I didn't hear what you said. I was looking at Mr. Wimple's bird book. It's a very interesting article about the Chicago pigeon. It sits on a stool under a bright light and sings to the cops all day.
Say, that reminds me of the deck of cards in the desert calling to its young. Oasis, oasis, oasis.
Oasis.
Oh, murder.
Bea Benaderet with Jim and Marion Jordan, Fibber McGee and Molly, April 29, 1947, on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Fibber McGee and Molly, April 29, 1947, and Molly's old friend Thelma Graham, played by Bea Benaderet.
Thelma That's the funniest thing I ever heard, a deck of cards in the desert. How do you think these things up, Thelma?
My gosh, all you need is a few back copies of the hardware dealer. Hey, Thelma?
I like the old college humors myself, Mr. McGee. I'm a college girl, you know. I got my degree in music.
Are you a composer, Miss Graham?
Am I a composer? Remind me to sing for you my masterpiece, the refrain from smoking.
I didn't think she was that old.
Say, you look like a college man yourself, Mr. Mayor.
I am. University of Texas. A three-letter man.
No kidding, Latrivia. A three-letter man?
Yes, I sat on a branding iron. I hope I'm not using any of your material, Miss Graham.
No, I just used the one about the cowboy with enamel all over his pants.
Well, I'll play straight man for you, Thel. How'd the cowboy get the enamel on his pants?
Well, they told him to saddle his old paint, and he thought they said to paint his old saddle.
Wonder what old Fred Nittany's doing.
And then there was the one about the man that got gored by a longhorn in the Minneapolis Symphony Orchestra, but that was way back. Oh, say, there's my taxi cab. I gotta leave now to catch a train, folks.
Oh, I'll get your hat, Thelma.
I'll get your coat, Thelma.
I'll hold the door open.
I'll pay the cab driver.
I'll eat the rest of the cookies.
I'll telephone the station. If you don't get on that train, it won't be my fault, Miss Graham.
Ah, you're all just too sweet. Molly, it's been a wonderful reunion. If you ever come to California, come and visit with me.
Oh, I'd love to, Thelma, but how will I get in touch with you?
Are you kidding? Well, goodbye, everybody. I've just loved meeting you.
Goodbye, Thelma. Goodbye.
Wow, what a character. You guys ever hear so many corny jokes in your life?
I've heard those jokes plenty of times. I've told them plenty of times.
I could make some interesting rearrangements of that girl's thyroid.
Did you say you hadn't seen her since your school days, Molly? You lucky girl.
Oh, I don't care. I think Thelma's lots of fun. But say, what did she mean? Was I kidding when I asked how to get in touch with her?
Search me. I don't know.
I do.
You do, Mr. Wimple?
I knew who she was the minute I heard her voice, but I thought she was sensitive about it.
What do you mean? Who is she?
She's Bubbles Joy, the big radio star.
Bubbles Joy? Oh, no.
I listen to her every
And
week.
she makes $8,000 a week. Are there any more cookies, Mrs. McGee?
Now that your white woodwork is spring cleaned and shining, how do you plan to keep it clean? Dirt does seem to show up, doesn't it? And those ugly fingerprints seem to come from nowhere. Well, I'll tell you what I suggest. Johnson's Cream Wax, the newest Johnson's wax polish that was specially made for your light woodwork and furniture. With Cream Wax, you need never use harsh cleansers or even soap and water to clean your woodwork. You just apply Cream Wax, and dirt and fingerprints vanish. And that's not all. In addition to unusually effective cleaning ingredients, this creamy white liquid contains genuine wax. Polish it lightly, and it leaves a hard, smooth, dry finish that is not sticky. Johnson's Cream Wax fills a real need, not only to clean and wax polish your woodwork and furniture, but also to give your white kitchen equipment a beautiful, bright sparkle. Try it, will you? You'll like the protective Cream Wax gives against future soiling. How easy it makes dusting. Johnson's Cream Wax. It's wonderful.
I can't get over it, Molly. Imagine her being Bubbles Joy. Why, she's famous.
I told you she was funny, McGee.
Yeah, but she ain't funny enough to get paid for it.
Aren't we on dangerous ground, dearie?
Huh? Oh, good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
April 24th, 1947, Fibber McGee and Molly on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just 2 of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of the soap opera Claudia. This originally broadcast April 29th, 1948.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you, transcribed Monday through Friday, by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Boom doo doo doo, boom doo doo doo, boom 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 boom. Hello, hello, hello. It certainly is quiet in the country. Is this house haunted? Anybody live here?
Just a lonesome ghost.
My, this house looks big with just one ghost in it.
It feels big.
Mm-hmm. Can you see me now?
Of course not. It's afternoon. You know I can't begin to see ghosts till after dark.
Then come here and stand still.
That's better. There wasn't anything ghostly about that.
How's Connecticut been all day?
Noisy.
That sounds like New York.
Carpenters were here.
For a change. They must be nearly finished on the wing by now.
They sounded as though they ought to be, but it doesn't look any different.
Did they start on the barn?
No.
No?
But I think they're going to.
I hope they're going to. It's all in the estimate.
Oh, I'm glad some things turned out like the estimate.
Wait a minute. We're very lucky with the way the rebuilding has gone.
Oh, yes.
Usually, things don't turn out the way you expect them to at all.
Don't I know it?
Especially when it comes to old houses. Seriously. Don't you think we've done remarkably well so far?
Have we, David?
Now look at this dining room.
I have been looking at it all day long.
Now, the bay window, for instance. This is the nicest time of day for the view, isn't it?
Yes, it is a wonderful view.
But not when you're tired of looking at it. Is that it?
Me? Tired of it? Oh, David, no, I don't mean that.
I know, darling. Come here. Sit on my lap.
That's a nice invitation.
Did you talk to Mama on the phone?
I did, this morning.
I talked to her, too, in New York.
She is coming back here tomorrow, isn't she?
You bet she's coming back. She didn't need much coaxing. She's taking the 2:00 train.
So late?
It's a long day up here by yourself in the country, isn't it?
Oh, I wasn't all by myself. The carpenters were here, remember? You know, it's funny, David, but when you listen to hammers and saws long enough, they sound as though they're trying to say something.
You must have been pretty lonely up here all day.
Peter was here.
The new handyman with the half-wit?
Yep.
He must have been very fascinating to talk to.
Very. He doesn't say hardly anything at all.
Well, does he do anything?
He looks for things.
Oh. You know, I don't think he's exactly what we need on this farm.
Oh, we need so many things on this farm.
But you are not to drive around getting the things we need, remember? Remember what Dr. Rowland said?
Oh, just because Dr. Rowland said to be careful. I don't have to be a mushroom.
Dr. Rowland is one of the best specialists in New York.
Well, if he were really good, he'd know I'm going to have a boy.
He's good enough for me. And you are to do exactly what he says.
All right, I'll just sit here in the rocking chair and twiddle my thumbs all day long.
You get tired of that, I'll loan you mine. You can twiddle them.
You give them to me right now.
Tomorrow you can talk to Mama. She'll be back tomorrow.
And she'll go away again.
Darling, I know it's pretty quiet here now, but wait until the farm's really going.
Oh, I can't wait.
You'll be sorry you were in such a hurry. When we have Cows and vegetables and chickens and a baby? No, you'll be so busy you won't know where the day goes.
I won't be sorry. Don't worry.
Now, come on, off my lap. I'm going up and wash off some of that New York dust. Goodbye, darling.
Goodbye, darling.
I'll be right down.
David, there's a car in the driveway. We have visitors. David? Can you see who it is from the window upstairs? All right. I'm coming. Hello, Mrs. Norton. Bertha, why, it's you. How wonderful.
Well, hello, Mrs. Norton.
Bertha and Fritz. Well, what are you doing up here? What a wonderful surprise.
Mrs. Norton, it is so good to see you.
Oh, wait till David comes down and sees you. He'll just... Oh, please come in. Sit down.
How is Mr. Norton? He is all right?
He's wonderful. You and Bertha, you look fine.
Fritz is a little spindly, but he's all right.
Oh, please, Bertha, I'm fine.
Fritz, Mrs. Norton, is she not looking beautiful since she lives in the country?
Oh, of course. It's the wonderful fresh air.
And the baby.
Oh, with a farm like this, everybody smiles.
Oh, it's been months since we saw you.
2.5 weeks only.
Oh? It feels like months sometimes.
Well, it looks like you and Mr. Norton must have worked very hard.
Do you really think so?
But of course.
Wait, I'll show you. This is the dining room.
Oh, and the kitchen.
Yes.
A fine kitchen.
Oh, the house, it is very charming.
And so old. It is not like in America.
And the land, Bertha. You saw the land?
You do think it's good land, Fritz? I mean, really good?
I took some of the soil in my hand when I got out from the car. It is rich soil. Here, fine crops will grow.
But we haven't done anything with it yet.
You are impatient, Mrs. Norton.
A farm is slow, Mrs. Norton. You cannot do all in 1 week or 1 month or in one life even.
Fritz knows. He had a little farm once. We would like someday again a little farm.
Yeah, when our rich uncle dies, we'll have a farm.
He's not even born yet, our rich uncle.
Well, here we are just standing around. Don't you want to sit down?
Well, we only just say hello and then we have to go.
Carl, Fritz's brother-in-law, drives the car. He must go. He has business near.
Oh, no.
That is how we happen to drop in.
Oh, but you'll have to wait until Mr. Norton comes down. Oh, Bertha, it's so good to see you. It's so very good. We have missed you.
And your mother? She's here?
No, Bertha. Mama went back to New York.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But she's coming back tomorrow.
Oh, that's good. You will be glad she's here.
Very glad.
You have perhaps someone every day to help with the house?
Well, no, not yet. We haven't been able to find the right person.
Then all day you are alone?
Maybe you better tell me what it's like in New York.
Well, it is as when you were there, only not so nice anymore.
Oh, everybody's dressed for spring now. It must be exciting to see them.
I do not know everybody. It is not so exciting when one is there, not like here.
Hey, in New York, we know the spring only because we read it in the newspapers.
I bet it's lots quieter in the apartment house now that we've gone.
Quieter? I guess it is quieter a little. I do not like it quieter.
Oh, nobody brings Great Danes in the elevator, and other people's cats don't fall down coal holes.
Also, no one to smile at us every day. When you get older, smiles, they are very important.
Fred, smiles are always important for everybody. Go see if Carl cannot wait with the car.
Oh, Fritz, of course he will. You make him. Mr. Norton would never forgive me if you went without seeing him.
Oh, I'll try. Maybe Carl can take care of his business and come back again in an hour.
Of course he can. Come on, Bertha, let's go outside with Fritz. There's so much I want to show you.
And so much I want to see.
I'll be right back. I'll speak to Carl.
Bertha, now tell me honestly, do you really like the house?
This house, Mrs. Norton?
Yes.
This is a good house. It gives you its blessing.
That's a lovely thing to say, Bertha.
And you have done so much since you've been here.
Oh, there's so much we want to do.
And the baby.
Just 2 months more.
So now you must be careful, very careful.
Oh, I am.
Well, it's all arranged. Carl will be coming back in an hour.
Oh, wonderful. Now I want you to see all the farm.
Oh, that I should like very much.
First, I'll go back to the house and get Mr. Norton.
Mrs. Norton, be careful how you walk. It's getting dark.
David, come on down. I've got a surprise for you.
Mrs. Norton, watch out. Fritz, she fell.
Bertha, come quick.
Mrs. Norton shouldn't have run. She should be careful.
I'll hold her. You loosen her collar.
Norton. Mrs. Norton. Oh, she opens her eyes. Gott sei Dank.
What happened?
Oh, it's nothing serious.
You fell, Mrs. Norton.
Oh.
But you're all right now.
All right, it's all right. Bertha, she fainted too sometimes.
I fainted?
Shh. It is natural. Fritz, we must take her inside.
Well, hello there. And if it isn't Fritz and Bertha, coming all the way up here to surprise us, and me in the shower.
Mr. Norton...
Here, what's happened? Claudia, what's wrong?
It's nothing. Mrs. Norton, she fell down.
A little faint, only.
Claudia, darling, are you all right?
Of course I'm all right. Wasn't I silly to fall down? I was in such a hurry to see you.
You were running?
She should go in the house.
I'm going. I can walk.
You're not going to, whether you can or not.
Mr. Norton, he carries you.
Oh,
Yeah.
such a fuss.
Now, there.
Really, darling, I'm fine.
Now, shut up and stop kicking your legs.
David, I'm all right. I really am.
You see, I can't do a thing with her, Bertha.
Mrs. Norton, not only for you, but for the baby, too. It is dangerous.
I hate being a sissy.
Well, you be one anyway.
You know what? Being a sissy's not so bad. In your arms.
Well, it's not a bad habit. Come on now. Into the house.
Darling, you know, everything's sort of different since Bertha came.
Different? It is? What is?
Well, all of a sudden, I'm seeing the farm again. The way I want to see it.
Yeah, I know.
And the way I want to keep on seeing it. I wanted so much to tell you, and instead I fainted.
Well, in a way, I'm glad you did.
Mr. Norton, Fritz, he must go back to New York in an hour, but we have been talking. If you like, and do not mind, I stay to help until Mrs. Norton's mama comes.
Bertha, you'd leave Fritz tonight and stay with us?
Yes, if you need me, and do not mind.
Mind?
Mind? I should say not, Bertha. As a matter of fact, I wish I dared ask you to stay.
Oh, Bertha, David and I would love you to stay because, in a way, tonight you've brought the farm back to us. Dum da la 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 la.
We seldom stop to think how much difference the little comforts and conveniences add to our pleasure from day to day. For instance, next time you're marketing and you pause for an ice-cold drink at the Coca-Cola counter, think how nice it is to be able to enjoy the pause that refreshes right in the store where you're shopping. More and more food stores are installing Coke coolers now for the express purpose of letting you shop refreshed.
Pardon me, Mr. King.
Oh, yes, Fritz. Hello.
Is not this place the Nortons have bought beautiful?
Oh, it really is. And wait till you see it when their plans are carried out. Then it'll be unique.
Yes, I hope I see it then. But Mrs. Norton, she is so young and so new to farm life. It is not easy. I wonder, does she know what it's like?
I wonder. Well, one thing I'm sure she doesn't know, and that's that tomorrow will bring her, David, and Mama another visitor.
Mrs. Norton, she loves visits. All women do.
Well, this visitor will be the happy woman of Eastbrook.
Who is she?
That's what you'll find out tomorrow, Fritz.
Oh, good. Well, goodbye, Mr. King.
Goodbye, Fritz. As I was saying, every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. This broadcast of Claudia was supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
April 29, 1948, Claudia on Classic Radio Theater. Back in that era, Coke was bottled in local communities And it was bottled in 6-ounce bottles. 6.5-ounce bottles, I guess it was. Boy, how times have changed. Now 32 ounces is the big deal. Well, not for me anymore, but for a lot of people. Claudia, April 29th, 1948 on Classic Radio Theater. Please thank this radio station to support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite radio station. We also hope that if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. You can find them all at iHeartRadio or Spotify or Spreaker or TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Amazon. If we get bumped for a sporting event, all you got to do is search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And you can find more at my webpage, classicradio.stream. That's how you get in touch with me, through the webpage at classicradio.stream. Thank you for listening. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.